All right. Hey, so this is my first time live on YouTube in a long, long time, actually. First time live in quite a while. I normally do my videos on Facebook and then convert them to YouTube. But today's subject is about dads in recovery. So, what do dads in recovery want? What do dads in recovery want? And some of this is from my own personal story, and some of this is from what I've learned. We've just finished, or tonight's the last night of our first, like our prototype group for fathers in recovery, for dads in recovery, for sober dads. And, there's not a lot of focus um, anywhere for dads in recovery. And what do dads want? The number one thing that I found that dads want is they want to break the chain. They want to break the chain for their kids in recovery. And so I've learned this that they're like, wow, every dad is, maybe not knowing how or but that's what they want. And so just a little bit about how I got into this. I've been in recovery for many, many years. I sobered up when I was 25. I'll leave that to your imagination how many years that is, but it's a long freaking time. And my daughter was 6 months old. And, it took me about 6 months because I was still using and drinking. It took me about 6 months to realize that, holy shit, I'm a dad. And I was totally unprepared, absolutely unprepared to be a father. I had no friggin' idea how to look after myself, let alone look after or be an example to, a little baby girl. And but I was motivated. I was like, holy shit, I've got to show up. How do I do this? How do I become a dad? And the first thing that became really clear to me is that I had to stop using and drinking. Now, lots of dads do that, and it's not that easy. And so, it's difficult. Lots of dads don't kind of uh, aren't able to be as fortunate as I have been, that I never had to go back out. A lot of pain. Growing up was tough, and so for me in the 12-step recovery program, I was a mess. I was just a mess. I certainly I was unemployable. I was very blessed at the time that I had a great lady in my life. The mother of my daughter was an amazing lady who kind of held the things together, really held things together. And it took me some years to really start to grow up, and I had no skills, I had no education. And so I was worst case. My dream, my fantasy, my glamorization was that, one day when I went to jail, I got big time, I learned to play the guitar and get in shape and write a book, right? A bit self-centered, and terribly self-centered. And anyway, uh, by the grace of God, that didn't have to happen. I didn't get to go to jail. That's great. I never did learn to play the guitar either, or write a book, or get in shape. But life has gone on, and one of my motivators most of my life has been my kids. So two more came along after my daughter. I have three, and did we break the chain? Yes, we did. The chain. I have two of my kids that are in recovery, on a spiritual path, and my third son, my third kid was my second son is also on a spiritual path, and a path of self discovery. They're they're grown up people, and which I was not when I first recovered, and for many, many years. It's so easy for us in recovery. When we look at ourselves, and we're sober for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, we admit, oh fuck, I wasn't. I was pretty immature when I sobered up. Many of us stop maturing emotionally, mentally, and spiritually in our teens, 13 or 14, it kind of stopped. So here when I sobered up here, I was really emotionally at about 13 years old, not really qualified to be a great example as a dad. So there was work to do. And so, after all of these years, and now I'm a granddad, and what do we want? Well, we got to break the chain. That was a beautiful thing, and now I have a open, loving, friendly relationship with my adult children. They call me. I have a relationship with them and their kids, and I mean, many dads, that hasn't happened, for one reason or another. And so, my goal is to help men to have that in their life. As the years go by, to have those honest, open relationships with their kids. To uh, to be trusted, to become trusted dads, and that's not an overnight thing. That's a long-term thing. When many of us sobered up, and often our relationships were broken, and we were separated or divorced from the mother of our children, and I've talked to lots of men over the years, some 40 years in recovery. I've talked to lots of men who were like, I don't know what's the matter with her. I've been sober 6 months and she's still pissed at me. Yes, yes. It says in the 12-step literature, there's a long period of rebuilding, and they don't actually describe what long means. And I'm here to tell you that it's a lifetime of rebuilding. We're rebuilding trust and becoming trusted parents, trusted co-parents, you know, trusted dads, and so that's what my course is about. And the men that we just finished this course, tonight we're finishing. It's the last night, and wow. Hard to kind of measure success, but each man has grown and seen themselves not only in the relationship with their kids, but in the relationship with their mothers. So important, so important. And the relationship with their own dads. Because if we're still, have a broken relationship with our father, even if he's passed, it's hard for us to build a an honest relationship with our kids. And then the relationship with our own mothers. So this all came out in the program. It was amazing. And we look at how have we been in relationships with the women in our life, and often we've been looking to get approval and to be, um, we've related sometimes to the women in our life like they were our own moms. So we have to grow up, and it's a process. It really is. And so this is just to, congratulate the men that are completing tonight. I'm excited and proud of them because we've opened up some rooms. We pulled the veil back on some rooms in their life that it's easy for us to kind of put on the shelf. We're like, um, not wanting to talk about our own dads, or not wanting to talk about, the relationship with our mother. So we dug all that stuff out, because it's part of the family. How do we become, a sober dad? Yes, a successful sober dad, but also a successful sober family man. And even if the family's not the model that we thought it was going to be, even if we're not together with the mother of our children, even if she's with another man and we're with another woman, it's just a new look at what family can be. We're still family, and that's what we share with the men, and the men have shared with us. So I'm grateful. And so if you know a dad in recovery, that would you think would be keen to experience some growth in that area, to open up some of those rooms so that we can see ourselves and grow, in our with our spiritual principles, because we use the nuts and bolts of the program of recovery to help us become the dads we want to be. And that's it. I'm grateful. Love you guys. I love being a dad. I love helping men to to expand and be who they know that they can be. I love it. And so I'm here for you guys. This is my passion these days. This is my purpose. It feels like my whole life has come together to do this work with you. So share this around if you can, and to let men know that there's help, and to become the men and the dads that they want to be in recovery. Cheers. Love you guys. Thank you.